Hello friends, this is Joseph and Train from HoS Sound. The idea of HoS Sound is very simple. We want to help artists, promoters, and other people in the scene to share their message, their experiences, their learnings, and life lessons. And as a byproduct, we hope that some of these insights will help and inspire others. And that's exactly why we're gonna have chats and ask questions to some of the most interesting people in the scene. We hope you will enjoy.
Hi guys, this is a small intersection because you might be hearing some crackles throughout the recording. If that is the case, we apologize. We did our best to make it sound perfect. However, we did record it with Zoom over an internet connection, so if you hear some crackles, that's normal because it's the connection that jumps. Hopefully, you will still be able to enjoy the experience and get the most out of the session. We hope you enjoy. Amsterdam-based promoter Bas Jenster from Bold Sessions has been behind this party since 2014, and together with another friend named Bas as well, they decided to create a party with the vibe they loved. And now Bold Sessions sees thousands of people who attend their parties. Bas has a great perspective about the techno scene today and what are the important things for artists and promoters to create a long-term career. But most importantly, he manages to frame what is a non-success, let's call it failure, as a learning instead. This is a super important thing for anyone who's doing their own events or creating their own brand, because everybody would face challenges, and it will take time for them to actually overcome them and make it what they want. With Bas, we also talked a lot about the origins of Vault Sessions, what are the challenges of pulling up the party, and how artists can get more bookings. Bas and I met at AD 2019 and had to record this interview twice actually, as the microphone collapsed. As Bas would say, this is not a failure, but just a learning that we can learn from. And a good memento for us to bring two microphones with us next time. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy the chat with Bas from Bold Sessions. Bas, first of all, thanks so much for being again on the show on HoS Sound. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you very much for asking.
Great. And so about Bold Sessions, can you tell us a bit more about how did it all start? It was 2015. What was behind the name initially?
Actually, the first Vault session was in 2014. To be honest, it was like a concept of the previous parties that I was doing. And I just got into to Amsterdam doing our first events there, because I was doing them in my hometown first, in a little pub basically for 200 people. At a certain point, I remember me and another Bas, because there's two buses in Vault Sessions. He was actually DJing at this illegal rave. And at a certain point, I had this little, like an epiphany. I felt like, wow, this is exactly that type of vibe that I want. That for me is the perfection, like the perfect example for how a rave or how a party should be. And because of that, I don't know how we came up with the name, but basically the Vault stands for that special vibe that occurs on the dance floor when everything just basically falls into place, and you have that synergy basically going on between the crowd, the DJ, just everybody on the dance floor is just basically in sync, and at that moment, you get locked on the dance floor. You can't escape it anymore, so you're locked in, like in a vault.
Like in a vault, yeah, exactly.
Basically, so we started doing Vault sessions, and like one of our core values is that we try to recreate or create that special moment, that vibe on the dance floor. That's it's one of our key strives to try and create on the party. And there's many different facets that that helped creating that vibe. But eventually, it's just about how are the people in sync with each other on the dance floor, and having that little moment of everybody is in the now and everybody feels free, and there's just nothing else in the world but that little moment on the dance floor. That for me is that's the identity of a good party for me.
Hey, so you guys, you and the other Bas connected and immediately connected around a certain vibe. You wanted to repropose that to creating your own party. And so was it in your mind when you guys started that was Bas supposed to play at the parties, being like the resident DJ, and you were supposed to organize, or it was more like we like the same music, we're just gonna create a party around that, and we'll select outside DJs to collaborate with us?
So basically what happened, I was still doing other parties, and I met Bas while he was playing, and I immediately thought, like, this guy, he knows what my type of techno, what my sound is, and we still have that. We have completely the same taste in music. And he started helping out with the earlier events that I was doing, but at that point we were still looking for how can you describe your concept? Of course, we just wanted to do parties because we had that feeling already, but we couldn't put a finger on it, and we couldn't express in words what it was that made this lifestyle or way of partying so special for us. And that at a certain point that happened, you get that moment of clarity, like, that's it, that's the answer. And from that moment on, we were basically we just started Vault Sessions and tried to build from there, and every event that we did from that moment on, you get a little bit closer until you really have that moment that you say, like, okay, yes, this is who we are, this is our identity, this is what we think is special for an event, and then at that point you see crowd returning and you're growing and your party starts selling out, so you have you're hitting the right spot, basically.
Yeah. And it takes time, and then it's impressive. And you guys have been fighting and creating this thing for 6 years now, almost. And when you started, did you expect that Vault Sessions would become what it is today?
No, I don't think so. I didn't know what to expect. First, we just wanted to make parties, and it was never the intention to really be a business, really start and try to make this your basically your work, the thing you do that you can live off from. And that wasn't the idea or the planning at the first place, but eventually you notice that you're growing, and of course it's taking more and more time. Mm-hmm. So I eventually made the choice to stop my study. So I was studying at the University of Amsterdam in my second year, and I hated it. I hated going to college. I would always fall asleep. I just couldn't find the motivation to really get into get into my study and really focus, and working on an event for Vault. I can do that day and night.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, it was like, you know what, I'm going to take that risk. Put my student loan in the event, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Right. Yeah.
And luckily enough, a couple of years later, I can say we're still going.
It paid off. Yeah. So you took also a big risk, and also in I don't know if it's the same in your case, but I think a lot of us have a lot of pressure from the outside world. Can be family, friends.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah. It's. I think for me, for example, in my family, I think this year, last year, it finally stopped with like grandparents telling me like, yeah, it's nice that you're doing this, but maybe you should still go back to school and get a diploma of some sort.
When are you gonna grow up? And so that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like nice little hobby you have, but are you gonna do something with your life?
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, at a certain point, you cannot. You cannot deny the fact that this is just a serious thing, also for yourself. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important for to when you want to build up an event or a concept behind it. It's like if you want to do something, just give it all you got. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a waste, I would think.
Yes, I think you also start thinking about everything in a very different way when it becomes like that's your career, that's your aspiration. That like you just go full on, like you make things work even when they don't.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because at first you couldn't, and I still had to pay my bills, so I was working behind the bar. That kind of. I still work behind the bar because I really like it, and it still pays my bills. So I don't have to take anything from Vault, and we keep growing in there. You know, because I think we can we're at a nice. We're in a nice position or in a nice place as an event, but I think we can grow a lot still.
And it's amazing. I mean, so it's also amazing. It resonates a lot with me too that you have another side job that I guess you like it as well. Like it's not that you do it just for the paycheck, but it also lets you free to do whatever you want with both sessions. It's not like you need to chase some money, otherwise you don't eat, you don't have food on your
exactly
table.
It creates basically your freedom, you know, because you know you're good, you can pay your bills with the job that you have, and you don't have to be worried about how you're going to eat this month. So that's not so it doesn't distract you from your goal, as in growing as an event and trying to give the best event possible.
Do you see that the same approach from the other people in your team, or in general from the broader community, or is something that very few people do?
I don't know about how other people in our community really do that, but I can tell for our team, we're all on the same page with that. Yeah, so we've all made some sacrifices to be able to do Vault sessions, but also we've always we never forgot like that it's also just normal to work a couple of days in the week, because doing an event it's planning. Basically that's what you're doing all year long. You're planning and planning and planning, and you can do that. What I do nowadays, I work during the week. I basically do office hours, and then in the weekend, either it's Vault sessions or another event that we're working with, and or I'm working behind the bar. Keeps me out of the streets also. But definitely, it's the other boss also hasn't finished his study, and is taking a little break from that. And he and I we don't know yet like if he's gonna like continue it, because Vault sessions, as you know, it's growing pretty fast, and we're going from like 1 or 2 days that we need in a week to really work together, because the rest of the week you can answer emails from your phone and stuff. But nowadays, especially now, like the week of production before a big event, you're. I was in the office today at 8:00, and it's now 8:00 again. It has been 8:00 again, so you're making hours.
It's 8 hours in the office, and it takes even more because now you're taking time to do this interview the week of the big event. So going back to both sessions and then the origins of the party and the whole path, like, was there a point where you guys were like, okay, you lost some money on a event, on a lineup, or things weren't working as much as you wanted? Like perhaps, I know you mentioned like some agents were not responding to all your emails at the start. Was there a point where you decided, okay, you thought, okay, maybe we should drop it, it's not working, and actually carried on?
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, like the first little event that we did was actually in 2014. Then in 2015, which we consider like the starting point of Vault sessions, we did two, production-wise big events. It was in an empty warehouse, so we had to arrange everything from setting up a bar to working with lights, sound. Everything needs to be put into the completely empty warehouse, and you need to really think about every little thing to make sure the event works, and like even the little things like you need enough power, like sockets, for electricity. And if you come there and you need like 25 plugs spread it out over the whole venue, and you only have two little how do you call them, boxes with sockets, then you have to find a solution to get some more, and it's probably then half an hour before the event starts in the weekend, 10:30 or something, So where are you gonna get that at that point? So those were big learning moments for us when we started doing that. And after the first time, we lost a lot of money. And we learned a lot, but we didn't learn enough to not try it again. And after the second time, we realized that we tried to step up too big, basically, and we needed to go back to like just the whole concept of let's just throw a really good party first, and try and grow from that. And at this point, we're reaching 2016 January, which is now in this week. It's exactly 4 years ago, and we did our first event in Radeon, and that was the first moment, I think, when we had that moment that it felt like all the pieces of the puzzle were falling together. But if I look back at it now, 4 years ago, it was an amazing event with an amazing vibe. But we've learned so much since that event even. So it was really good, but so many little things that are now way better organized, vibe-wise, lineup, like the running order of how we put DJs where, and everything is just way more natural feeling.
Yeah, and I think you need to face the challenges yourself and have bad days, bad events before you actually realize how to make things work in a very good way. I think experience it's invaluable. Like there's so much that you actually get out of the experience.
Yeah, it's I remember it's a good friend of us. It's the guy that organizes the Reactor events, Jort. He I think it was his. I think he said it once. It was like if you're always winning, you're never learning.
Yes.
Which basically means like if you do a party, you start doing a party, and the first time you sell out completely, you're not going to do anything different than the next time because you sold out the first time already.
Yeah, you think you're like the chosen one. You think you're like
exactly. You think you're there. You think you have the answer. And that can create a certain type of attitude, which when something goes wrong or you do fail one time, you're not open to the idea of maybe we're not doing everything correctly, and maybe we should evaluate our own process, and so that's it's one of the most important things to I think for a promoter is to be able to look yourself in the mirror. Sounds really heavy, but yeah, it's just very important to really see like what the consequences of all your actions and way of organizing your event. And this relates to every facet of organizing something, from booking an artist, having your musical, like the style of your music. Like if you book a certain type of sound one event, and you do a completely different sound another event, which is very, very easy in the world of techno, because it's a very, very wide spectrum of music. Basically every little thing can have a huge impact on how your event grows and how people will look at you. It's very important to stay very critical to what you do.
Yes, and I really respect what you were saying about like being open, looking at yourself in the mirror. I think that applies to pretty much anyone who wants to grow. Like,
it's basically a life model, I would say, it's you have to keep reminding yourself also of the fact that you're not perfect, in every way.
Exactly, and that's the thing that makes people grow. Like it makes people anywhere, like from the artist to the promoter to anyone, pretty much.
Yeah.
Great, and so very interesting to know like a bit more about the story. And was there a point where you? So 2016 was kind of the point where you actually decided to, okay, let's throw a really good event. We take it from there. We start growing.
Yeah.
Was there another event, maybe specific event or a comment from someone that made you realize, okay, this thing is getting serious? Like there are a lot of people who love our brand, our events. This thing can keep going. We can grow it to 10 times more.
There's a couple of things for me personally that made me realize like, okay, we're doing something good. One of the first things that you realize that you can really like look at is when you just start as a promoter, you try to book artists. You send out emails. It happened a lot back in the day that you just wouldn't get a reply. And at a certain point, you open your email and you see in your inbox that you're the one getting the emails now. Hey, would you like to book this artist? Or and that's basically the confirmation of, okay, people are actually seeing what we're doing, and the fact that artists want to play at your event, because most of the time the artists will tell, hey, I like that party, can you check? And then you get an email from an agent. I think this is the way how it most of the time happens.
Yeah.
when a booking agent sends you an email, or the booking agent himself or herself sees the event. That's also very possible, of course. It's just a form of acknowledgement, basically, from people working in the industry. And the other thing for me that was also the most special is the feedback from artists that you book. It's and of course the people that come to your party, and you see them coming back every time. Those are the for me the biggest things that make you realize that you're doing something good.
Indeed, exactly. The big test is that if people keep coming, you must be doing something that is valuable and good for them. And if then you get interested, like, and the artist comes there and they have fun, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's fulfilling to know that like they're enjoying your party, like feeling like, oh, I want to play there again. It's amazing, good vibe. Yeah,
we had this with Regis, with Carl. The first event in Radium was with Regis. And first of all, he's an amazing person. In person, he's an amazing guy as well. But he's seen it all, and he's played everywhere. And we got a feedback from him basically that was saying like it's that it was really nice to play for an organization or a group of people that are really into the music themselves. Because of course, when you play big stages like guys like Regis, you come to Amsterdam, you go to your airport hotel. Some driver picks you up, then you get dropped off at the venue. Some artist handler picks you up, and most of the time the artist handler doesn't even know your real name or doesn't even know what kind of music that you play, because it's just an artist handler, you know? Maybe they don't even like the music. It's also possible. And to have that level of personal approach and the fact that it's a party by lovers of the music for lovers of the music, that really helps. I think
it does, and it makes them feel also that respected in a way, but also it makes them feel like, oh, I'm really playing for someone who is taking care of this thing, like who is here probably for the same reason.
Yeah, you're getting. I think an artist feels like he's getting booked because of the music that he's playing, not just because of the fact that you will sell your tickets. You know.
One question now, I know you have basically on the 31st of January, you have a kind of a 2 days and a half, including the after party. You have a big event coming.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 days.
3 full days.
Well, it actually 4 days, because we start at Friday and we finish on Monday. Wow. So, but it's what is it? Yeah, I think we're open for a total from Saturday night 11 until Monday 3 o'clock. So that's 24. That's 27 hours. Yeah, we're open for almost 40 hours this weekend.
Yeah,
like full event opening time. So I have a little sleep on Saturday.
That's pretty big. Like, and you guys, I guess you guys gonna take like turns. Like you're not gonna be there for like 40 hours. Or you're planning to?
No. I'm gonna try and stay as energized as I can during after the Friday night.
Uh-huh.
And of course, a lot of people are just coming for the Friday. I think we have around 1,000 people that are coming for the weekender, so for the full 2 days. But that leaves 2/3 of the venue with people that are just coming for 1 day. So we have the program until 9.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's because of the fact that we're gonna do the Saturday night. Is not gonna make us stop at 9. I mean, if the vibe is there, if the people are there, we're going on until 10, maybe even later.
Yeah.
that just depends on the moment,
on the vibe. Yeah.
How the vibe is and everything. Yeah.
It sounds great.
So we'll see.
Yes. Best of luck with that. And this time is a warehouse element and strat, right? Is it?
Yeah.
And then the after party is Brett, which is the other club.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a couple minutes walk actually from the warehouse. So that's perfect in our opinion. And Brett is the special little club. Did you went last time during ADE?
I didn't go.
No, we didn't have an event there actually. It was radio.
It was radio, and you did the
shelter. Yeah.
Shelter, yes, exactly. Yeah, radio. No. I didn't go to Brett, but I think you told me about Brett last time in October, and I checked it up and actually went. I think one of the cabs I was going somewhere else, and then I saw Brett, and I said, okay, this is the place. Seems to be.
Yeah, we had to find our way to doing that. We had to find the identity for the after hour parties as well. It has a specific sound. At this moment, which is pretty much curated by Mitchell, Tough Comp or Stranger.
Oh right, yeah.
So I always tell him it's his party, and basically all the bookings that we do for the after hours is also we check with him like how do you like this, because it's just he's a good friend personally, and his sound and his way of also mixing, it really works. after 20 hours, you still have those people on the dance floor, and it's just that way of playing works for the people, and they stay for so long. And and everything around that. So I think it was the end of August. We had Freddie Mitchell, so Tough Camp, and Steph Mendecidis playing. And I think that was the third time we did an after-hour party. We did 5 this year, and we started also this year. But that was the first time that for us, again, that moment, like, this is it. This is the vibe that you need. This is what works. And and we started working from there to recreate that every time, or even make it better.
Yeah. I think I came across your after party. It must have been like maybe just before SPF DJ was playing.
Yeah, it was. What was it? 2 weeks before 80. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It must have been like around September, and then she was playing, and I saw the video, and people were like pretty excited. Like it was like a proper There's no difference between an after party and a like a daytime party or like nighttime party, from what I've seen.
We had. It was funny though, because that was the one before that, but we found out during, I think, the August one, that we actually needed 2 more subwoofers. So during the event, I think at that moment Mitchell was playing. Other Bas all of a sudden comes from the back door behind the booth with this gigantic subwoofer. Well, gigantic, 18-inch. And then another one, and he was just like plugging it in during the thing, and the boxes, the speakers, they went on, and all of a sudden, this is exactly what we were missing. Just a little more bass.
And then people went like, boom, done. We stay for another.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, and I think SPF, Lina, she liked it the first time because, what was it? We did an after party for the Reactor Weekender, end of November. And she was performing at the Reactor, and she and a lot of other artists actually just visited just to chill out basically at the after hours. But at a certain point, it was her and VTSS playing, and then D-Dan also jumped in there, and then Mitchell. So it was a back-to-back session.
Improvise.
Yeah, it was all just improvised on the moment. I think they rebooked their flights like 2 times even, because they just couldn't leave. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can get as a promoter.
I think that's the best. Like someone just like changing life plans to losing hours of sleep.
Yeah, that was amazing. I didn't even know. I heard it afterwards, but that was a goosebump moment.
Wow, yeah,
definitely.
Big up for you guys. Like you must have done something amazing.
Yeah.
And one question about the lineup for these for the upcoming Vault sessions. I think that you have at least 4 back-to-backs or collaborations. So you have ADD, which is Dash Rush and A&D. I think you have Endlek Arcana, Manidi with Myler, and Random Air BTSS, which is Borisushi. Was there a conscious choice of like, we want to do more collaborations because they work, or?
It's ADD was just very, very, very impressive to hear the first time. It was I think their sound as a live act. I think ADD, and for me also personally, Karen they really lifted the bar for live performances in our scene. Because what both of those acts are doing right now, every single performance that I've heard or seen from them is next level, in my opinion. So they were just one of the most impressive acts of the last year. Then Manny D and Myler we had the 2 years ago, so the first time we did Elementenstraat already, and right now they're actually not taking any bookings as Manny D and Myler back to back at other events, but especially for Vault sessions, because it was our first time when they were playing for us in 2017. 17. It was 18. Sorry, 18. That just worked. They closed then, and they made the choice to keep that back to back exclusive for the Vault. For the Vault events in the Elementenstraat. So it's a sort of residency, basically. Andlek, we've also worked with before. Amazing guy, also in real life. And back to back with Ayakana is a specific, more specific sound than just Andlek. It was a logical choice to have him back. And I thought, it was just interesting to have him together with Ayakana, which is a really rough, rugged sound.
In your face.
Yeah, it's pretty industrial, but also it has a lot of I don't know how to really put that in terms, but it has a bit of old school
sound, like
maybe ravey vibe, but it's also very new school industrialish with very sharp, very clear, very well
produced,
sound engineered kicks. It's not like an old school.
It is super powerful.
Yeah, and it's also nice. I think they also represent a specific sound that was very popular in the past years. Maybe you could compare it a bit with what Pertrex is putting out, for example. That was basically like the sound of like maybe 2017, 18. Nowadays you have a different sound, that's more popular. It's more, you have the trance and everything. I mean, you've probably heard a lot of people talking or complaining about it.
Oh yes, there is a kind of, especially the sound of let's call it the sound of 2019, which is kind of going to this trancy melodic fashion. Like I think that it splits more vocals for sure, and this melody is, I think it splits the audience in two. Like there are people who just go crazy about it, especially new generations of people, of dancers, and there are producers who are like kind of saying, okay, they're taking a bit of the distance from that. They're like, okay, this is not techno, it's not really underground.
I think it's a bit childish to as a producer or as a part of this industry to complain, especially publicly, about it. Of course, you have your opinion about what is techno and what is not techno. But I remember having a conversation because we've been doing artist handling for quite some years, first Radion and now still for Shelter. And I remember I was with Bas in the car and we were driving Honey Dijon, which is a very well-known act name. Not really in the techno spectrum, but she's been around for years. And basically what she said, like if you really look at the facts, how can you separate house, techno, trance, and basically every electronic, every dance music that's electronic? It all has the same core structure, and basically the only thing that's different is just the style. So when somebody's saying that trance cannot be put in the same sentence as techno, it's childish, because techno is such a broad term, just as house. I mean, I have my preferences. Everybody does. Exactly. But I think negativity is just something that you should stay away from in every form of creativeness and expression, because everybody everything is subjective, if that's the right term for it.
Yes, and especially we're talking about like musical taste, and what it can resonate with you might be different from me, or vice versa, or you and I might like a lot of things that a lot of other people don't like, and eventually like the choices, there might be a moment where something is trending a bit more. For instance, now is a big trend, but who cares in the end? Like,
and it fluctuates. The sound of the year. it gets different so fast. Like in 1 year, you would go from this type of sound that is the most popular, most heard sound, and then the next year you have this again. I mean, who can predict now what everything will be, where everybody will be listening to in 2021?
Yeah, we don't know. What's your prediction or what's your take?
Maybe everybody's going back to jungle. Who knows?
That's a rising thing. Yeah, jungle can be one. For me, it's going to be something like a mix of techno and trap. That's my prediction. Like with people like doing.
Could be. Who knows? Who knows?
Exactly.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Couple of last two questions, and then I'll let you go because it's already late for you. You have a big event coming up. Talking about like style that is more sought after, and what can producers do to get more bookings in Netherlands, in Amsterdam? Is there a style that you think they should be pushing, or they should be just chasing their own style and then find promoters by, I don't know, releasing more music and reaching out to promoters?
Well, if you have to look at it, I think from a certain type of way, because you're going to be a producer. So I would assume that the reason that you started producing music is that you have your own idea about what kind of music that you want to put out there. You have something in your head, you want to create that and put it out there as a producer. And I think that the moment that you're going to make decisions on how you produce your music and how you express your creativity, if you're gonna make choices based on if you're gonna get bookings from it or not, I think you just lost the whole reason why people start making music in the first place. So I think that should never be your focus point. But one of the other things is, of course, doing something that can give you that little step up to start your career, basically, and get bookings. And then from there, try to express your own sound more.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in like a different alias or something like that. That can really, really help your career and give you the possibility to really do what you love by just making that little sacrifice and also making certain type of music that is maybe not your style. Maybe a good example is you remember the "I Want to Go Bang" song from Björk?
Yes, absolutely,
yeah. Well, I think you've probably also seen that that video of him, the 4D sound. Have you seen that video?
I haven't seen it actually, but I know it's a big experience.
It's a live AV performance. It's a video. Check it out because musically it's amazing, and it's totally not comparable with that one track that made his career explode and gave him all that big bookings on the stages that he's performing now.
Wow.
So this is
exactly. And now you mentioned him, he is a very good example because he is one of the most eclectic producers that I know of, and
he's doing some very, very interesting stuff.
Very interesting stuff. No, I don't like everything that he's done, but like there are some stuff that are really interesting. Like some things that they remind me of Aphex Twin, which is a big compliment.
100%. That is the name, the producer that I would name as well. If I would describe what Bjarke is doing right now.
Completely eclectic, completely going with something that is Bjarke, which is like the summer heat of 13, 14, and then stuff that is like wow, completely crazy. Yeah. Very, very good example, yeah.
You know that track was actually already maybe 5 or 6 years old before it was released. He had that track. He made that track in 2008 or 9 or something already. It was just the old thing that he still had lying around, but made the choice to release that, and there you go.
And he released that on. Which label?
Wasn't it Kravitz's label?
Probably yes, Nina Kravitz. Yeah.
I think so, huh?
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Yeah, very, very good, interesting track. And one last question that I think it would give a bit more space to you guys is what's in the pipeline for a Vault session?
Well, as you know, but maybe not everybody, next week we're celebrating our 5th anniversary. It's not really the exact 5th anniversary, but it's the best date to do the anniversary, to do the birthday party. Yeah. Then our lineup for Open Air Festival in June just got dropped. We have Tommy back again. We also have Vladimir Dubishkin, which is an amazing producer in my opinion. And the production, it's a big stage for 5,000 people, and we always have we get a lot of space. We get a lot of options basically from Open Air because they have a big budget, so we can really experiment, and we can really bring out a sort of represent the real sound, our opinion of the real sound of techno. To a very big festival that attracts a lot of different types of visitors who has also visitors that have never heard techno before.
Wow, yeah.
So it's basically our way to show the rest of the world this is also a style of music which maybe otherwise they would have never heard. We have more weekenders coming up this year. So last year we had 19 events, but a lot of smaller singular nights. Mm-hmm. And we're going to focus more on doing longer events. So starting on Friday, finishing on Monday, basically.
That sounds good.
I don't know why we're doing this, but it's the crowd wants it, and you got to please them, right?
How does it work in Amsterdam for licenses? So I know Berlin is something that is quite common for clubs to be open for 2.5 days, 3 days.
Yeah. We have. There's a couple of clubs or venues in Amsterdam that have a 24-hour permit. If you have those, if you have that, well, you can be open for 24 hours a week, a day. And then if you don't have that, but you have another type of license, it works basically you have 5 moments in a year that you can go until a certain type of hour, or you can request a license to be open until this type of time, which can be for a full 24 hours. That's all possible. And if you don't have that, then you need to get a license for just one singular event. And if you're in that position, then the risk is very high because basically licenses work in a certain type of way here in Amsterdam that the government can pull the license 2 weeks up front. So you need a very, very good insurance for that if you're doing a festival or something. So that's a big risk.
It's a huge risk because then it's artists that you booked and then tickets you sold. It's huge, the venue.
Yeah, everything. It could break your whole event.
And you normally, you get an insurance that covers from potentially the government pulling out, which means you lose the revenue, you lose the cost you spend.
Yeah, you can insure yourself for a couple of things, but a cost that you've made with artists that you paid already or that kind of stuff. You sign a contract, and if your event happens to be cancelled 2 weeks up front, then in basically every contract that you're going to sign with the artist, you've already paid the fee. And it's not possible to get that back then. So you lost that money, and that's not. You cannot insure yourself against that.
It's pretty big, pretty risky. Yeah.
There's always big risk with organizing an event like that, but at a certain point you know what type of risk you should take and which type you really shouldn't.
Yes, and that comes from learnings.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Bas, this was great. Thank you so much for taking part, for dedicating time.
Well, thank you as well, Joseph.
My pleasure. Our pleasure to have you guys. So best of luck with the upcoming event. I will make sure that I'll put all the relevant links in the show notes so everybody can find out about both sessions and you. And if there is anything else.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. And I'm sure we'll see each other soon in real life again.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe in London and maybe in Amsterdam again. You're always very welcome.